right, fellas, we're back with a NBA podcast, one of the first for this 2025-2026 season. Today, we're going over the GM surveys going into next year. If you don't know, this man named Mr. John Schumann, he's been doing it since, I think, 2002. Been doing surveys, and we're getting right into it. So they ask all these questions: which team will win the 2026 NBA Finals? Which team had the best offseason? Which team has the best play, etc. So, first up, which team will win the 2026 NBA Finals? 80% of GMs, he interviews GMs, say the Oklahoma City Thunder at 80%. Now that's high, obviously, and they can tell you last year they had 83% saying the Boston Celtics, and they were heavily the favorite. But obviously they didn't make it out of the second round. So GMs are human; they will 100% be wrong. They have the Cavs at 7% and the Nuggets at 7%. Also receiving votes, the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks. And also, it's not necessarily all 30 GMs, so it's everybody that participated. Just answer your damn question. So these, I guess, is everybody who received votes. So most people think 63% of GMs think that the Cavs will win the East. 30% think the Knicks will win the East, and 7% is Orlando, and nobody else thinks any other team can win the East. I think Milwaukee has a chance. If Giannis goes crazy and does MVP Giannis numbers, which I think he will. I also think Detroit has a chance. I've been saying Detroit forever. I think Cade Cunningham takes an absolute leap. I genuinely think with his build and his style and his just ability to create his own shot, I do think this Detroit basketball team will take a jump. Will they overtake those three teams, the Cavs, Knicks, and Magic? No. If I were to vote, I would vote for the Orlando Magic to win the Eastern Conference. But we got fourth place votes for Magic. Hawks, a great offseason. Pistons, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and even a Boston vote. Shout out my Celtics. Last year, 97% picked Boston win the East. Obviously, that was wrong. The Cavs ended up winning the Eastern Conference. Next, we have the Western Conference. Oklahoma City, 87% chance, and they said 80% chance for Oklahoma City to win it last year. Denver at 10%. I do think Denver does win the Western Conference this season. That would be my vote. Houston at 3%. I think the Houston Rockets are a little tiny bit overrated. I understand they get Kevin Durant, but what did Kevin Durant do for that Phoenix Suns team last year? Respectfully. I know they were hurt. I know they weren't good. They weren't good defensively. They had no depth. They barely had a coach. Yeah. So, I mean, besides that, we got Minnesota 3%. Yeah. It's kind of just like pick your poison in the Western Conference. I mean, 9 teams got votes to finish top 4, which is kind of crazy. The Spurs, I would expect the Spurs to be a little higher up on this list. I don't know where my official predictions will be. I'll probably drop a video. Also, if you guys like the NBA, I'll be dropping podcasts like 3, 4, 5 times a week. So subscribe for more. We're on the road to 20K subs. If we can get to 20K subs before 2026, I will give away any jersey to anybody who wins. So one person will win, and you get to pick a jersey. I will give it away. So make sure to subscribe and comment down below that you subscribe. Next up, MVP. By the way, these are juicy questions. MVP, 67% say Nikola Jokic. I love to see that. I also think Jokic will be MVP. Luka at 2. I could see him building a resume for MVP. I just don't think there's, in my opinion, I know it's before the season starts. LeBron James isn't playing, so there's 3 or 4 weeks. There's 3 or 4 weeks where Luka can inflate his stats. But this Laker team needs to be good for them to win the MVP. For him to win the MVP, they need to be really good in a stacked Western Conference. And Shea only receiving 8% of the votes as a MVP winner last year. It's kind of crazy because Vic got 7%. They're expecting probably a huge leap. Other people receiving votes: Giannis, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell. I think it'll be extremely hard for Donovan Mitchell to win MVP. I mean, last year his team did win the Eastern Conference, and they were the best offense in basketball, and he still didn't really get any love. Sorry. And last year they predicted Shea at 40%, so they took a huge leap, saying Jokic will definitively win the MVP. But obviously they've been wrong. Pretty much every single one here they've been wrong, except for Shea winning last year. If you were to start a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? I mean, it's hands down Vic. I'm surprised Coop Loki didn't get any votes. I guess it's because he hasn't played basketball yet. But Victor Wembanyama, 7'5" now, 22 years of age, can stretch the floor, plays like a point guard, plays like a center, probably the best defensive player in the NBA. Shea at 13% and Nikola Jokic at 3%. That's probably because of age. If everybody was the same age, I wonder what GMs would say. Like if everybody was the same, I mean, I guess LeBron James, right? If you get 21-year-old LeBron James. Next up, which player forces opposing coaches to make the most adjustments? That's a cool question. Jokic at 57%. I mean, I guess so. I guess that's why so many teams are signing so many different big men to just throw them at him. But obviously, you can't just have bigs guarding him. You got to switch. Giannis at 17%. Curry at 13%. I feel like this should be a little bit higher. or would be a little bit higher. Luka Doncic at 10% after being 33% last, and Shea's only got 3% of votes. So you're saying, or I guess if all 30 voted, one GM said the MVP of last season, the guy who averaged 32 points per game, led the league in scoring, finals MVP, Yeah, okay. Breakout season, 2025-2026. Now, I don't know if breakout and most improved goes hand in hand. In my opinion, it kind of does. I have Benedict Mathurin being the most improved player. Theory is Tyrese Haliburton goes down. Siakam obviously is going to have to average 25, 26, 27 points per game if they want to be a competitive Indiana team. I think Rick Carlisle goes to Ben Mathurin. I know, he's kind of been off and on as a rotational player in this Pacers field, but I believe in Ben. But we got Amen Thompson, obviously absolute beast. Offensively, he could definitely get a lot better. Brendan Miller at 10%. Asir Thompson is twins. Thompson twins make up 40% of that. Victor Wembanyama at 10%. I don't know what other leap he could take. If he takes another leap, the league better be on watch, man. The league better be on watch. And then Franz Wagner at 7%. Also receiving votes. Denny, Stephon Castle, Jalen Green, Jalen Johnson, Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, I could see him getting another leap, especially if Paul George and Joel missed a lot of time. And Alperen Sengun, I watched a lot of people talk about Sengun. I think he could definitely take a leap. I don't know how much he's going to be involved. Obviously, I think he's the second best player on this Rockets team, but you had Kevin Durant next to you. Obviously he's going to get the rock, and it's not like they have nobody else on this team. But I'm a big fan of Sengun's game. I just don't think numbers-wise he'll be able to have like a breakout season. They did predict Jalen Williams last year, and a lot of Jalen Williams love, by the way. You're about to see it because I saw it in the best positions. Also, ESPN ranked him as the 11th best player, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, next up. Who is the best point guard in the NBA? I have already seen these, so I'm going to go in there with a grain of salt. You should not be able to vote on different players in different positions. Like, Shea is a point guard. I know we live in a positionless basketball world, but you should not be able to vote Luka Doncic as a fucking point guard and Luka Doncic is the best small forward in the league. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry for cussing, but that just enrages me. Shea is the best point guard in the league by far at 73%. He's the second best player in the league, in my opinion. Luka at 17%. I agree with all this. Shea, Luka, Steph, Tyrese Haliburton. You guys, you Knicks fans, tore me a new one, by the way, for saying Haliburton's better than Brunson. Cade's better than Brunson. Steph's better than Brunson. Luka's better. Come on, dog. Nah, they are better than Brunson. And I would even put Cade Cunningham right at 5. I would vote for Cade. Not vote for the best point guard, but I would have Cade on this list. Who's the best shooting guard? Anthony Edwards blew him out of the water. By the way, they said Luka Doncic is the best point guard last season. Just want to put that out there. Anthony Edwards, best shooting guard, and not even close. He was only 33% last year. I'm guessing him and D. Mitch were like neck and neck last year. Anthony Edwards at 70%. Next up, Donovan Mitchell, and then Luka Doncic, who I guess is just a 1 through 3 at this point. Shea is just not a shooting guard. Like, Cason Wallace is not the point guard. This Steph Curry. Shooting guard. Yeah, okay. We're on the same page. Cool. Who's the best small forward in the NBA? Luka Doncic at 40%, while Tatum's at 20% with one leg. Listen, I'm a big Tatum guy. I'm a Celtics guy. Tatum's the best small forward in the league, and he will be for the next 5-10 years. Luka, you are not a small forward. What GM looks at Luka Doncic and says, you know what? Yeah, he's a small forward. KD at 17%. Don't hate that. I definitely think he is, right there neck and neck with JT. I definitely would rather have JT even with the Achilles injury. LeBron at 7%. Can't believe he's, 41 years old. He's going to be out the first 3 to 4 weeks, but still hooping. It's LeBron. You know what you're going to get. And Kawhi Leonard, with all that extra money that he's got this season, he's got 7% as well. Now, here's where I have a problem. Jaylen Brown gets votes. That's fine, right? I don't think I would rather have Jaylen Brown than any of these players, or I don't think I'd rather have Jaylen Brown than any of these players. Jimmy Butler, you can make an argument, I guess, with Kawhi Leonard. It's the only person I would make an argument with. Jalen Williams is not better than any player on this list, dog. Like, there's no way you voted him A as the best small forward in the NBA, and there's no way you voted him above Kawhi, LeBron, KD, JT, or Luka. Like, come on, bro. Last year, Tatum 47%. So here's my problem, right? And shout out Tom. If you're watching this, because you sent me this text, got me really in the mood to make this video, low-key. Who's the best power forward in the NBA? Obviously, it's Giannis. But how do you classify Luka as a 1, 2, and 3 and not Tatum as a 4? Or AD as a 4. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just Giannis and Evan Mobley. I mean, obviously, defensive player of the year last year. In my opinion, the second best power forward in the league if you don't count AD. And then Giannis is definitively the best power forward in the league. I can't believe somebody said otherwise. And I don't know who the frig they picked last year along Giannis, because Giannis should be like a 98 percentile. Who's the best center in the NBA? Nikola Jokic. It had to be the Spurs GM. You should not be allowed to vote for your own players. I don't think they are. But it should not be Victor Wembanyama with one GM saying, you know what? Yeah, he is better than Nikola Jokic. It's not going to happen. You won't ever. He might. I don't know. Let me know down below. Who will Vic ever be better than Nikola Jokic? Probably not. That's just my opinion. Before we get to, actually no, let's go to the last one. Highest percentage of total on position. Oh yeah, this is just like, yeah, this is. Bleh, I don't even know how to read this. Highest percentage of total votes on position questions. Yeah, Nikola Jokic. Yeah. I mean, Luka should be higher because he's gotten three different categories. Before we get to the next offseason moves, make sure you guys check out Dabble Fantasy today. They're the best DFS app on the market. You pick more or less on your favorite athletes in every single sport. And we're talking about who's going to be the best power forward, who's going to be the best center. Right now, they have NBA season-long picks. You pick more or less on your favorite athletes. You think Jaylen Brown's going to average higher than 25. You think Jokic is going to average higher than 30, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They have assists, rebounds, points in general. So make sure to check out Dabble Fantasy today, because right now, when you use code AllTalkSports, you get a free $25. You don't even have to put in your damn credit card. You get $25 just for signing up. Link in the description. Make sure to check it out today. Off-season moves. Who is the best overall off-season? Atlanta Hawks. Get Kristaps Porzingis. Get a few bench pieces. I don't hate it. I mean, 53%. I would low-key put the Magic kind of above here, or even the Rockets, I guess, getting KD. Denver had a great offseason. The Knicks low-key had a good offseason. I can't believe the Celtics are up here. I guess they have a good offseason because they got off the salary, but it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously, they got way worse, getting off of KP and Drew and all of them, Al Horford. Doesn't make sense to me. I would have these four definitively here, and probably the Knicks and also in that conversation. Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact? I mean, yeah, KD gave up a lot to get him, right? Jalen Green, the 10th overall pick, but he's supposed to be your difference maker. You're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference last season, and your offense was bottom 5. KD, yeah, that'll make a difference. Desmond Bane at 17%, yeah, I think he was a great offseason move for the Magic. Like I said, I think they could be higher on this list as well. Desmond Bane, again, Magic team, horrendous shooting from 3, one of the best three-point shooters in the league today. Also receiving votes, Cooper Flag, Drew Holiday. Yeah, I think he'll make a difference. Miles Turner, I do think will make a difference, but what they had to do to get Miles Turner, we'll see. And then last year it was Paul George. So maybe KD, maybe we're looking in hindsight like, wow, they just signed a aging superstar who's making $50 million and he's a great offensive player, because low-key these are like the same, but not, KD and Paul George. But you know what I mean, not in retrospect. Desmond Bane is the most underrated player acquisition. I don't know if he's underrated because you gave up 4 first-round picks to get him, but I don't need it. Cam Johnson definitely going under the radar. I definitely think he's miles better than Michael Porter Jr. By the way, Michael Porter Jr., stay off of this microphone, dog. This is an expensive microphone. I know you can own it, but you need to stay away from it. KP, I definitely think is going to be extremely impactful, especially next to Trae Young. I mean, that 3-point team, they're huge too. They have like 11 players above like 6'8" on their roster. Lonzo Ball, definitely, I think he is candidate to win 6th Man of the Year. John Collins, okay. And then, I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith, whatever. Yeah. Also receiving votes, Bradley Beal, yeah. DeAndre Ayton and the Lakers, I don't know, man. I just don't think like he's better than some of the other centers they already have. I don't know if that's just me being a hater, but I mean, whatever. We got Jalen Green. Norman Powell, definitely an underrated signing. People just completely forget that this Heat team is going to be legit just because they have Eric Spoelstra in general. But you now have Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and Norman Powell. A little spicy. And they got the big fella there, too. Completely whiffing on his name. I can see him. He's probably going to be the starting center this year. Flame me in the comments down below. I'm having an absolute brain fart. Listen, this is like my 10th video of the day recording, but I'm getting through it. So while you're down there, subscribe, please. I really appreciate it. We don't have a lot left. Let's just keep pushing through. Most surprise, or which team will be the most improved? Yeah, Orlando. I like that. I'm going to buzz through a few of these. Who's the most surprising move this offseason? I mean, this is 73% of it. Miles Turner to Milwaukee, and stretching game. I remember I was in the gym, bro, and I'm like, oh my God, Miles Turner, Dame, and Giannis, that's insane. How'd they get this money? Forgot. Yeah. Atlanta, yeah, this was a bad one. It was a bad one. Atlanta is just going to keep stacking up those picks, and the Celtics breaking up. I don't think that was very shocking. I think everybody knew. Last year they said Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah. definitely. Rookies international plans who will win 2025. Wow, that's crazy. Nobody else. Reed Shepard got 50% of the votes last season. That's crazy. I mean, I guess Kentucky guards, man, they just do their thing. But no, I actually think Ace Bailey will be in this conversation because I just think the opportunity that Ace Bailey has is going to be bigger than anybody else in the NBA as a rookie. Like Cooper Flag obviously is going to go out and get his, but like Ace Bailey has nobody around him. Who does he have around him, bro? Walker Kessler? He's not an offensive player, bro. Which rookie will be the best in 5 years? I agree with this. I mean, I think everybody. Wow, 5 years ago, James Wiseman. Shout out James Wiseman, bro. Pacers legend. Biggest steal, Jacusionis from Illinois. Miami Heat point guard. I wanted the Celtics to draft him. Best international player, no Jokic, not even close. Wow. Luka, SGA, Vic should be in that conversation as well. I don't know any of the best international players, but shout out Isaac Bonga. He was in the NBA. Cedi Osman was in the NBA. Mirotic was doing that thing. Stretch Full. Kendrick Nunn. Heat legend. Eddie Tavares, NBA legend. 2K legend. Wow. Best best defensive player, Vic, obviously. Best perimeter defender, Dyson Daniels. Yeah, absolutely. I genuinely think, wow, this is a great list. Imagine all these guys on the same team, low-key. That would be disgusting. But we do have Alex Caruso and what's his name? Lou Dort on the same team along with Shea, who are just elite defenders. They have the best defense in the NBA. Who is the best interior defender? Vic, obviously. Rudy Gobert still getting his. Who's the most versatile defender? Amen Thompson gets 18% of the vote. Wow, there's a very not a large gap between 4th and 1, but then only an 8% difference. Last year was Giannis at 17%. He only receives 13% of the votes. Shout out to Monty Kamara, Tari Eason, and Asur Thompson. Thompson twins, they're going to end up with the same team at one point in their career, right? And they're just going to be holding that defense down. Best defense in the NBA, I already said it. Thunder last year was Celtics. That's kind of cool. The Thunder were just easily the best defensive team in the NBA, 1 through 5. I mean, their guards can guard and their centers can even better, bro. Even better. I don't even know what I'm saying. Who's the best coach in the NBA? Yep, I already said Spo. Who's the best manager? Motivational. Yo, motivation. Joey M, bro. That dude's a freak. Shout out, Joe. I mean, Steve Kerr still got to be in this conversation. Ime Udoka in this conversation. Kenny Atkinson. I mean, hell yeah. He should be way higher in this bitch, bro. He just took that Cavs team that, obviously the Cavs been making the playoffs for years and years and years, bro. But he just absolutely elevated that team. I mean, JB Bickerstaff. Okay, yeah, Rick Carlisle, get some love. Who's the head coach that makes some best in-game adjustments? This is stuff that, like, fans, if you're not, like, a absolute diehard NBA fan, you would have absolutely no idea. And I'm an absolute diehard, but still, I have no idea. Tyronn Lue at 40%. Shout out Big Ty. Rick Carlisle, I feel like, doesn't get the respect he deserves. Eric Spoelstra is up here. I feel like his name will be always here. Who's the head coach that runs the best offense? Rick Carlisle. Shout out Rick Carlisle doing what he does with what he has. I'm excited to see how he'll form this Indiana Pacers team without Tyrese Halliburton. Some guys are going to have to step up. And Rick Carlisle is one of those guys. Head coach, the best defensive schemes, Dagnall, Ime. I mean, it's not tough when you got Thompson in there. Joe Mazzulla, yeah, I guess, cool. Best assistant coach, don't care. Mike Nori. I mean, he could be an NBA coach from Minnesota. Literally took over Chris Finch when Chris Finch tore his ACL. Active player will be a head coach someday. Chris Paul, Mike Conley, just a bunch of Garrett Temple, dog. What? I don't know. I haven't heard his name forever. But then just a bunch of Luke Cornett. Shout out, dog. Shout out. That's hilarious. Most fun team to watch. Denver Nuggets. I guess so. Yeah, I would say the Warriors. Not okay. Timberwolves. Okay. Pacers. Yeah. Coming up from an outside standpoint, I guess. Just fun, fast teams with great players. Wow. Which team has the best home court advantage? Wow, Denver. Really, Denver. Not a big market, I guess. Getting bigger as Jokic gets. But again, OKC. I mean, I guess it's just the small town teams that, just have diehard fans. And Denver Nuggets, by the way, 2 years in a row. All right, maybe it might be because of the altitude, low-key, now that I think about it. Which team has the most efficient offense? Cavs. Okay, they were the same with last year, but Celtics were voted last year. Which team's level of success this season is the toughest to predict? Yeah, and that's insane to me. Which team's level of success this season is toughest to predict? The Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, Jared McCain's already injured. What do you know about VJ Edgecombe? How is he going to be in this offense with a bunch of guards? They have Quentin Grimes, Maxey, McCain, and now Edgecombe. Yeah, Joel Embiid's status in the air, Paul George's status in the air. It's hard to predict where the 76ers team is going to be at. I have no idea. They could make the playoffs. It could be a 3 seed if everybody's healthy and Paul George plays that $50 million contract status. And they could also be a lottery team. I have no idea where this Philadelphia 76ers team is going to land. Let me know your thoughts down below. We are so close to being done. We're going to just spin through these, not going to lie. Most promising young core, OKC, hands down. I mean, I guess you could throw San Antonio in there just for Vic being in there. Most athletic, yeah, Amen Thompson and Ant, 100%. Best shooter, Steph Curry, shout out. No, it should be 100% Steph Curry. Which player is the fastest with the ball? De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, Tyrese Maxey, hell yeah. Who's the best player without, the ball? I mean, you heard the Matthew Dellavedova story. It's Steph Curry. Best passer, Jokic. Best leader, Steph Curry. I like that. Jalen Brunson, I guess, has to be in these conversations. Clutch player of the year last year. Took a pay cut to be where he is. Jokic in these conversations. Giannis, Shea, LeBron, yeah. Top dogs, got to be top leaders. Let's be for real. Most versatile player, Giannis and Wemby tied for first. Which player is the best basketball IQ? I feel like LeBron should be number one. Even though Jokic is the best player on the planet, I feel like LeBron should be number one. But I'm not an NBA GM, I guess. Which player would you want taking a shot at the game on the line? Where's Tyrese? Yep. I would have Tyrese Halliburton. I don't care. I don't care that everybody on this list besides him is a better NBA player than him. What he did last season to the Milwaukee Bucks, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Knicks fans, cover your eyes because goddamn, bro. Halliburton should be the number one answer and everything. Okay, last one. What rule change would you have? Roster construction, April rules, add a cap to discount. Yeah, this makes sense. You shouldn't be penalized for drafting and then having to pay those players who were drafted. Allow partial trades, draft schedule, game flow, playoff seed 1 to 16. That'd be kind of insane. Yeah, fellas, this is all I got. This is a long-ass video. How long was this video? Like 25 minutes. Not even that bad. But let me know your thoughts down below. We're bringing back NBA trivia. We're bringing back the NBA podcast. And shout out Dabble Fantasy for sponsoring it all. Peace!